Always trying to pinpoint you on one specific person. It's just weird. I feel like it's really weird. And I think it also goes back to a lot of these men in media all of a sudden have opinions about women's basketball. Never had opinions about women's basketball before, but all of a sudden everybody from different angles have an opinion on women's sports.
Or they also never watch.
They never watch. They just see the highlights. They don't watch the full.
Angel Reese is surely grappling with disappointment after being left off the All-WNBA teams despite an impressive rookie campaign with the Chicago Sky. The situation is made even more frustrating by her absence from both the first and second teams. To add insult to injury, her toughest rival, Caitlin Clark, not only secured a spot on the All-WNBA first team, but also claimed the prestigious Rookie of the Year honor.
On yesterday, I think it was about 47 or 49, so it's typically close. But ever since, Angel Reese had that injury to me, and also coming off of Olympic break, Caitlin Clark separated herself. She should have been unanimous. Now to celebrate her, one thing that people forget is as a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8 assists, breaking, like you said, the assist record. To be able to do that as a rookie in the face of that much defensive pressure should have been unanimous.
Caitlin Clark had an exceptional rookie season, securing her rightful spot on the All-WNBA first team alongside basketball powerhouses such as Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Alyssa Thomas. Her dynamic play and ability to captivate audiences made her an undeniable standout. The first team was filled with top-tier talent from across the league, and analysts believe this fierce competition made it especially difficult for players like Angel Reese to earn a place.
And it's going to be spectacular to see, and I can't wait to see it. But here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the national semifinal. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful. So why is it that we're hesitant to bring that up? See, here's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to dilute your point by any stretch in it, because I get where you're coming from. And as a lady, you should take that position along with Molly about how we all need to grow up and accept the fact that these women are highly competitive, they're highly gifted and skilled, and we should give them the love and respect and deference they deserve. But I'm going a step further with this. We all know that there's a white-black issue here, because the fact of the matter is when Caitlin did it, people were celebrating it, and they were talking about nothing but her.
Angel Reese certainly had her share of standout performances in her debut season, yet the voters weren't convinced enough to place her among the league's elite. She also fell short in the WNBA Rookie of the Year race, finishing second to Caitlin Clark when the results were announced in early October.
It's a neck-and-neck race. It's not a foregone conclusion. The fact that Angel Reese is in the mix is a beautiful, beautiful thing, with all the notoriety that's been thrown in the direction, Eminem, for Caitlin Clark. But that's where I want to go with this. This is the biggest thing we have to applaud about Angel Reese. She goes out in the midst of all of this pub and notoriety being thrown in the direction of a Caitlin Clark. And everybody is talking about, yeah, but it's Caitlin Clark and everybody else. Well, Angel Reese said, nah, it ain't Caitlin Clark and everybody else. It's me too. And then showed up on national television, showed up last night, and down 15, having already lost 2 games to Caitlin Clark already this year, brings her team back, puts it on her shoulders, and absolutely positively took over and was talking. Did you see when she did the Steph Curry shimmy sitting on her backside on her when she went to the floor after scoring 11? I mean, damn.
To make matters even more disheartening, Angel Reese was also left off the All-WNBA second team, which included standout players such as Sabrina Ionescu, Kali Copper, and Jonquil Jones. Despite a solid season, her exclusion from both teams has sparked surprise, underscoring the immense depth of talent in the current WNBA. As if that wasn't enough, Reese was also passed over for the all-defensive teams, a snub that hasn't gone unnoticed by her devoted supporters.
Between being vilified and being a villain.
So the way,
like outside of this incident, right? Let's take this out.
But I'm just saying, the way you play the game and the way you act.
How does she play it any different than Caitlin?
All I'm just telling me, you telling me they play the same way? No, they don't. But this is all I'm saying.
Caitlin is an angel.
I'm not saying
she's never talking trash. She's never in anyone's face. She's never physical with anybody. Like they play the same way. They're both competitors.
They play the same way.
Angel Reese had a standout rookie season with the Chicago Sky, posting averages of 13.6 points and an impressive 13.1 rebounds per game, leading the league. She set a WNBA record for the most consecutive double-doubles with 15 and broke the record for most rebounds in a single season, finishing with an extraordinary 446. Despite these incredible accomplishments, Reese's omission from both the All-WNBA and all-defensive teams has left many fans perplexed. To add to the frustration, she was also excluded from the defensive roster, sparking significant backlash. However, some argue that the decision may have been warranted.
Happened for a very specific spark of a moment. Angel Reese is not, Angel Reese from a player-only perspective, is not that unique. There are better players than Angel Reese. There have been more dynamic players than Angel Reese. There are better players in the WNBA now than Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark looks phenomenal. No one's denying her shooting ability. But as far as like athleticism or dominating in college basketball, seen it. The moments was very specific. And the stuff that Caitlin was doing, like we're saying Angel was doing that. But so we can't separate the two. Like Caitlin's stardom is owed to that moment. Yes, she is great. But we were not talking about her from an interesting perspective. Athleticism, sure, that's fun. But you have to be interesting. You have to be polarizing. And why was Angel Reese polarizing? Let's be honest about it.
She was the best player in the league.
She's a black woman who was in Caitlin Clark's face. And that compelled white people to have an opinion about what was happening, which has laid the foundation for everything that we're talking about now in this very
Well, it's not just a regular white girl, though. See, that's my thing. So you are right.
Of course it's not a regular white girl.
The white girl you talk about is the best player that we've ever seen and so when you talk about, like, I get it because she's a black woman. If Reese did that to another black girl, we probably won't be talking about this.
We're not.
But the thing is,
if a white girl did it to Caitlin Clark, we wouldn't be talking about it.
The thing is, right, so race did happen. So we are agreeing with you. Angel Reese had a little part to do with that.
When the WNBA unveiled its all-defensive teams, names like Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Nafisa Collier were prominently featured, players who unquestionably deserve their accolades. Yet many fans feel Angel Reese should have at least secured a spot on the second team, if not the first. Social media has been filled with debates, as supporters argue that Reese's defensive skills rival or even surpass those of some of the players who made the cut. But the lingering question remains, was she truly better?
Still playing. What is she, 41? I think she just had 31 points the other night. I mean, Sue Bird played at a high level. So many great players. I mean, I go back to Cheryl, Cynthia Cooper, Tamika Catchings. I mean, there are so many great players. But maybe they didn't capture your imagination. Caitlin Clark has. People watch. Now everybody wants to have an opinion on this. And that's where it clutters, muddies up everything that the women have tried to do. They've been there. You just haven't noticed. Now you're noticing, and now you have an agenda. Now you have an opinion. And that's where no matter what you're saying or who's saying it or how you're saying it, everybody has a platform now. Yeah, Pauline.
It's interesting. The Angel Reese cut, I had heard it yesterday, and they only cut it to the last 8 seconds, 10 seconds. To hear it in context, though, she does have a lot of points about what the situation actually is. She is clearly not the draw and not the type of player that Clark is. She's a good college, very good college player, and a good WNBA player. But that incident in college at LSU, Iowa.
Angel Reese has every reason to feel frustrated after being excluded from those teams, and it's difficult to fault her. The 7th overall pick from LSU in the 2024 WNBA draft had a stellar rookie season, but a wrist injury that sidelined her for the final 6 games of the regular season allowed Aja Wilson to claim the rebound title. It seems that injury may have hindered Reese's chances for the recognition she deserved, as her momentum stalled just as the league was finalizing its postseason awards.
Angel Reese has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that the chase for the golden toilet has likely ended for the Chicago Bravado. Every player on this team could be Angel Reese, and they still would not make playoffs. All this injury did was hasten the inevitable. But there are thousands of people on social media who are questioning this injury. There are thousands of people on social media who are claiming that this Angel Reese injury is fake, or as Donnie Brasco would call it, a fugazi. Now, is there legitimacy to these claims? Would Angel Reese actually fake an injury? Would Angel Reese prematurely end her rookie season to spare herself the embarrassment of losing Rookie of the Year to Caitlin Clark?
And we can't ignore the ongoing buzz surrounding Angel Reese's rivalry with Caitlin Clark. The tension between them has been growing since their college days, when Reese's LSU Tigers triumphed over Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes in the 2023 NCAA Women's National Championship.
How long were you sitting on the...
Oh, I was waiting.
How long were you sitting on the...
I tell you, I was waiting. Me?
At what point were you waiting to pull out this?
Man.
Kind of the Caitlin Clark.
Hey, Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
Incredible.
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Then y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
So the victor goes to spoil.
The rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark only deepened when Clark got her revenge, leading Iowa to defeat LSU in the Elite Eight the following year. Although both players have insisted there's no personal animosity between them, fans couldn't help but sense the tension whenever they faced off this season. But if you think Reese is letting the critics or her exclusion from honors get to her, think again. She's been clear about not caring what others think. After Clark's All-WNBA selection was announced, Reese doubled down on her stance by sharing a message on social media, reaffirming that she remains unfazed by others' opinions.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, what they're doing in the W right now, as someone who loves some good trash talk, what do you think of what's going on with that rivalry?
I love it. I think basketball in the women's game, we've had rivalries for forever.
Yeah.
You know, we've had competitiveness, we've had trash talk, you name it. It just wasn't getting the looks. It wasn't getting, people weren't covering it. So the fact that these two, they literally stole the college stage, both with their play and their trash talk, and then they're taking it into the WNBA. It's just going to mean good things for the rest of the landscape of women's basketball. So I'm all for it. I think it's great. They've come in and they've taken over.
But she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way. Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese, who has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel. It's part of Playmakers Network of podcasts from Shaquille O'Neal. On the debut episode, co-host Maya Reese, who is Angel's cousin, asked her to address her feelings about rival Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark and the Fever's fan base. Take a look at what Angel Reese had to say about that. Quote, Caitlin Clark fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans, I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. But when it comes to death threats, like, I'm talking about people who have come down to my address, following me home. Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me naked, literally. They've sent it to my family members. It sucks to see that, and it's really hard that I have to go through that. End quote. If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is young. She's only 22. And the reality is the scrutiny that she's been subjected to is inexcusable. It's egregious. It's disgusting. It's wrong. And there's a bunch of punk, no good, you know what's out there on the male and female side who are abusive because they're really, really good at being that way.